about a whole ecosystem. It's not only something alone which will work to be successful. So for our next speaker, we'll have Anndy Lian from Singapore. So he will be talking about the governmental side on blockchain-based projects. So Anndy Lian is an early blockchain adopter, an experienced serial blockchain entrepreneur who is known for his work in the government sector. His best-selling book author, Blockchain Revolution 2030, and currently the advisory board member of Hyundai DAC Technology. He plays a pivotal role as a blockchain advisor for Asian Productivity Organization, APO, an intergovernmental organization committed to improving productivity in the Asia-Pacific region. Anndy?
Thank you. Greetings from Singapore, and glad to be part of the this DeFi Global Summit. So I think before I start my conversation or my speech, I would just love to say some overview on how I felt the DeFi space is like, especially in 2021 right now, where Bitcoin is going on a very rocket pumping situation. So I'll give an overview on how I felt for DeFi in 2021. So let me just begin. So DeFi is not a new word, to many of us who are right now, listening to the whole speech, and we are seeing a lot of strong interest from individual and also institutional investors. Although the whole environment is still pretty nascent, but I would still find that is very favorable. The macroeconomic trends of the low and negative interest rate globally is helping us to grow and increasingly relevant to many people, like people from Southeast Asia, or even some of these people who are unbanked. So picking up the whole steam in 2021, institutional money and professional traders who wanted to get into the DeFi space in 2020 are all very open right now to get into the space. One of the main things that we talk about, and I also heard from Mohan, who is sharing in terms of law, is that we have to stay in a more regulated environment. So as a professional blockchain leader, in my own space, I've met many different governments. I've met the central banks, and throughout my advisory role, I've spoken to about 15 countries so far in terms of blockchain adoption. And one of the core topics late last year would be decentralized finance. Reason being is that without naming which country and so forth, we do see that the traditional finance are breaking up. People and money are slowly and surely redirecting to the DeFi space, and it's actually giving new hopes to a lot of different people. So personally, what do I see as the biggest DeFi area or trend in 2021? I would still think that staking is going to be a much faster growing trend in 2021. It is also closely related to the launch of Ethereum 2.0. The launch of 2.0 is a very critical step towards ETH to be a much larger capacity coin, a chain, and the shift to POS allow huge amount of wealth to be staked as a collateral. I mean, ETH is one of the closest coin that we have seen so far with huge liquidity, and I would also think more users will not leave their Ethereum on exchanges. This is going to this is based on my own observation. Second thing is, I think in terms of CeFi and DeFi integration in 2021 would be something that government or government-linked organizations or even the lobbyists are trying to put forth. So the integration would be a lot smoother, and there will also be more integration of DeFi products with the traditional products. So crypto-backed derivatives and cross-chain products will also hit its peak, in my opinion, in Q3 for 2021. And I also do see that proprietary trading will also be one of the talking point this year. So overall, some of my own friends and also supporters will ask, do I see that the growth for DeFi is a lot stronger than 2021? I think my answer to them is yes. I think it will continue to be very bullish, and I must emphasize that this bullishness will continue if we do the right thing at the right time. So when the bigger financial institution come in, helping, giving a better push, we as the spokesperson, for your own brand or for different crypto projects, we have to try our best to keep ourselves as regulated as possible, whether it's a self-regulatory kind of a model, of course accompanied with what the governments are looking at. We have to continue to keep ourselves regulated, and these are actually challenges that we often see in the DeFi space, and the challenges did not change very much in 2021. The reason why DeFi grew so fast is also due to a flaw in the financial structure. Governments will step up hard in 2021, but they will still be playing a catching up game with all of us, because they know what DeFi can bring, but at the same time they also have their limitations on what to monitor, how is it going to be regulated. On the other hand, they already have a bunch of issues about CeFi and so forth. So the catch-up game will take some time. Based on what I know, government definitely know the underlying enforcement issues with DeFi, and they are resorting to look at using on-chain digital ID to do track and trace and enforce AML at the same time, definitely CBT and so forth. But again, all these are going to take time. So during this time, I believe in terms of technology and in terms of the community work that we are all trying to do, we should work hard on it. And in order for DeFi to go mainstream, we also have to solve issues like liquidity, speed of transaction, daily usage, and so forth. I think other observations that we do see is that from government is that they are all opening up in terms of what they are trying to do. They are trying to understand what we are doing in the DeFi space, and one other observations that I do see is that banks are also looking at DeFi-like products right now using the blockchain technology. So I think when banks and governments are working closer together during this adoption time frame, we should always try to do as much as we can and support the government and push our initiative through. Of course, being pro-government in my own ways is not always 100% rosy, because during this initial space, my personal take is that if we work closely with the government, we will see a lot of adoption happen a lot faster, and not going against the government and saying things like, no, we should get rid of the banks, we should get rid of the government to stay decentralized. So during the earlier phase right now, we should try as much as possible to work alongside with the government. We have to work alongside with some of the regulatory framework that are already in place. So governments are very much knowing what we are doing. So the other thing that I would also like to bring up, in terms of how DeFi market is like right now, is that a lot of DeFi owners are trying to hide themselves behind very cute pictures. Some of them, they do not want to disclose who they are, but based on my knowledge, many of which the founders and so forth, they are all real human beings. They are not a bunch of codes and so forth. So I strongly urge DeFi projects and DeFi owners to step out from their nice picture and start to put a face and create a brand that is more credible. That will definitely help all of us to step into a more mainstream space, and also get more buy-in from institutions, get more support from the government. So let's not be too naive to think that or to think that all DeFi projects are going to make good money. Sooner or later, the yield and the return of investment will normalize, and once things are more stable, a lot more stable, you will see more adoption coming into the space. I do see that happening in South Korea, where I spent quite a fair bit of time in, before the COVID virus struck everyone. I see that they are pushing very hard. They are also supported by banks and some of the larger MNCs, for their DeFi project, as early as 2018 actually. So with that, I just want to end my speech to tell everybody, let's do the right thing. Let's support the right projects, and do not support blindly, because a lot of these projects are very scammy in nature. That kind of returns that they are promising you right now are as close as a Ponzi scheme, based on the mathematics. So do not believe in what individual projects are trying to portray. Try to do your own research, do the right thing by following the right people, and that will give you a better and more enjoyable DeFi investment journey, for all the retail investors who are now online. And for projects, I want to emphasize again that it will be very good if you can step out and do some real good work, for the DeFi space, and get a good team, and that is going to bring us and walk us a very long way, for this crypto journey. Thanks for your time, everyone.